Hi, this is Begin the Slaughter, and I am Murder Who. For today's devlog, I am going to show you a quick run just to show you the current state of the game. So I am going to start this off by drafting mostly weak areas, because even though that means less upgrades for me, it also is less risky at the beginning until I can get an upgrade or two that makes it easier for me to kill a large amount of enemies. The crystals actually still require 5 hits, down from 10 hits when I first put them in. However, at this point what I did is I used a ground pivot. Normally when you hit something, your attack is stopped, and you have to use your other claw to then attack again, thus getting 2 hits in quick succession. When you are ground pivoting, your attack isn't stopped by such things. So I just got 5 very quick hits in, 1 frame apart from each other, and this crystal shattered almost instantly. You can actually use this to great effect if you want to just dart into an area, break the crystal, and then run away and try to get the alarm off. In this run, I won't be doing such hit-and-run tactics. I'll actually be trying to kill most of the enemies around. If you were paying close attention, then you might have just noticed I went back up to 5 health from 4. This is a recent change I've done, now that I can finally have full runs of this game and experience it myself, and I realized there was just too many bullshit ways to get hit. If I solve those bullshit ways, if I make them impossible, then there's a lot of skill that's no longer in the game. There's risks that are no longer risky, kind of thing. So instead what I do is whenever you're hit, it starts a timer, and 30 seconds later you're healed for 1 health. Which means that if you're hit multiple times within that 30-second period, the timer keeps resetting, and you're only ever healed up to 1 health more than what you were previously knocked down to. So you can reliably depend when you're at 1 health that you'll go back up to 2 health, because if you had taken another damage, you'd be dead. This manages to make it still very risky to play the game, but it doesn't mean that you can just sit around and wait for your health to go back up, so there isn't that much of an incentive to just sit around. But that definitely is a viable strategy when you are very low in health. As you can see, the deal with the first boss is that there's a number of snipers surrounding the arena, and the boss himself is just an ordinary dodging enemy with 7 layers of armor. When you try to attack a dodging enemy, they will dodge roughly to your left. There's a couple of things it depends on. You can usually depend that it'll be to your left. So when you're able to focus on the dodger alone, they are somewhat easy, and there has to be other distractions around that make them difficult to deal with. So that's why I went around the arena and I killed most of the other enemies around before I even started with the boss. Here, I make a bad mistake to engage this enemy instead of simply leaving because they're a sniper so they will never move, and allowing them to leave their alarm state. What happens in particular here is that because he's up against the cliff, the grab action takes precedence over the attack action unless I'm looking upwards and there's nothing to grab. And that was a pretty short run. I made some bad decisions and so I died early. But that gives you, I think, an idea of how this game will actually play, minus some upgrades because I never got to those. Alright, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.